Guys, have you ever wondered about the chocolate? Why is it so hard on outside when it is kept at room temperature, and why is it so soft when it is in the mouth or body temperature? This magical behavior is contributed by a product called cocoa butter. Now, cocoa butter is a product which comes from cocoa beans. This has the specialty fats or the fat molecules called as triglycerides. These triglycerides make the cocoa butter a smoothing agent or hardening agent to a chocolate. Now, I'll just give you a brief, or let's understand briefly about these fatty acids. Three fatty acids: POS, palmitic, oleic, stearic. Palmitic, which makes the butter or which contributes to the butter being firm, and oleic, which contributes to the butter being soft and melts when it is put in the mouth. That last one, stearic. Stearic is the one which makes the butter hard and strong and rigid. Now, yeah, POS. The order of the amalgamation is also important to make the right cocoa butter equivalent. Now, when it is coming to cocoa butter equivalent, let's talk about Manorama Industries. Manorama Industries is a player which manufactures cocoa butter equivalent. Now, why is it named as palmitic? Because it is extracted. These fatty acids or the properties are extracted from palm oil. Now, it is not exactly in such a way that palm oil is used as a raw material in chocolates. No, palm oil is not used exactly. Only the good properties or the fatty acids which are useful are extracted using the fractionation method and used in making the cocoa butter equivalent or cocoa butter. Now, if we talk about the industry, in the chocolate industry, FSSAI has allowed uh, Food Safety Security Authority of India, FSSAI, has allowed the companies or the chocolate companies to use up to 5% of cocoa butter equivalent, and rest they have to use, that means 95% should be cocoa butter itself. Now when it is coming to 5%, right, CBE is used only in small and controlled manner. Now what makes it similar to cocoa butter? Because 5% of the cocoa butter equivalent is used. Now, what makes it similar? It makes it similar in terms of properties, in terms of fatty acids, in terms of shine, body temp. I mean, in terms of mouthfeel, in terms of melting point. So, whenever the chocolate is made with CBE, I mean, only if it is only 5% as well, we might not know the difference. But then still, it is same as cocoa butter. It is similar to cocoa butter, and it is equivalent to cocoa butter. Now we'll not understand the difference because the properties and the rest everything is much similar to cocoa butter. Now why are companies using cocoa butter equivalent? So they want to they want to increase their margins, and it is one of the way, because these cocoa butter equivalents or these final products come from the raw materials or the plant seeds, not cocoa butter seeds. I mean cocoa beans. These actually come from plant seeds. These are scalable, available in large quantity, not so expensive as cocoa beans. So the raw materials cost and the availability of the raw materials, because of these, I've taken a decision to use cocoa butter equivalent. Also, in their process, they do not hydrogenate, or they do not, I mean, it is trans fat free. So, what's the meaning of hydrogenation? It is nothing but using the or adding the hydrogen to make the oil to solid. It makes the oil to solid part. Now, this process will result in trans fat. Now, whenever this process is done, whenever hydrogenation is done, right, we also get the trans fat in the product. Now, trans fat increases bad cholesterol, reduces good cholesterol. So, this is not healthy. So, cocoa butter equivalent is a plant based solution which mimics the properties of cocoa butter and is cost friendly and is sustainable, scalable, operationally as well. It benefits the companies without compromising the structure, without compromising the texture, taste, etc. So we just talked about the chocolates and the percentage of CBE which was used, and let's talk about cosmetics. Cosmetic companies does also use CBE, but the percentage is higher. Like these fats are approximately used from 10% to 60%. Certain products like body butter might have 10 to 25% of this butter or CBE. Now lipsticks or lip balms will have certain more higher percentage. And so these are also used in cosmetic industry. Now talking about Manorama Industries is into making these or manufacturing these cocoa butter equivalent products which are used in confectionaries and which are used in cosmetics. Now the ratio would come around like 80 to 20. Most or majorly the cocoa butter equivalent from Manorama Industries is sourced to confectionery companies. We have a Fortune 500 company clientele like Mondelez, Lush, Ferrero, L'Oreal, and also known companies like Body Shop, etc. So the top 10 clientele, the revenue from top 10 clientele contributes to 40% of total revenue. Also talking about the revenue mix, right? This is a revenue mix of exports and domestic. It would be like 60-40. And whenever these guys make the contracts to get the raw materials, the duration of the contracts would range from 9 to 12 months. So for a particular financial year, they get the fixed price for volume. Now talking about the Q3 results, right? They have given a bumper, or they have given fantastic results in terms of revenue. It was grown by 73%. In terms of EBITDA, it was grown by 78%. In terms of PAT, it was grown by 131%. All of these are based on YOY. Now, why was revenue increased? Because of the good product mix, and EBITDA was increased because of the controlled cost measures or enhanced operating leverage. There's a minor reduction in gross profit percentage, but management said that it's nothing to be concerned or worried about, because they have said that the gross profit percentage would range from 45 to 50%. That's a healthy percentage for them. Now, if you see the screen, they have a seed miller, and like there are different machines they have. They have seed miller, solvent extraction plant, refinery, fractionation. Let's understand how this process is done. Like, how do they manufacture the final product? How do they manufacture the final product of cocoa butter equivalent? Firstly, these raw materials like shea or all the butter, or raw materials like plant seeds, they come to the expeller. In the first stage, they get cleaned or sorted, and we also get the crude oil or oil de-oiled cake, or I mean cake, oil cake, from the first step itself. In the second step, solvent extraction, we get the extra oil, like the penny which was lying around on the table with the extra oil, that is also squeezed out. In the solvent extraction process, we get the de-oiled cake, which is actually sold to Indian cattle feed industry. Now that is a revenue generation other than the actual products. And also, after we get the crude oil, this will go to refinery process. Now it is refined to remove the smell, to remove the color. And after refinery process, we get the refined butter. Now this refined butter will go to the fractionation process. This is an important process. Fractionation process will separate the oleic and stearic. Oleic is a liquid part, stearic is a solid part. Now the stearic is added with palm or palmitic, with using the palmate fraction. They blend those to get the final output, cocoa butter equivalent. And in the Q2 con call, they have also already said that they want to do debottlenecking of the fractionation capacity by increasing capacity from 40,000 TPA to 52,000 TPA. Now this will be completed by end of FY26. That's a 30% increase, and also it will give the more output. Also, they have acquired 20 acres of land in West Africa. Now that land, how does it benefit them? They want to set up a manufacturing facility. Now if there's no manufacturing facility, right, we directly import the seeds from our companies, from our subsidiaries in West Africa. We have subsidiary which directly does the procurement in West Africa, and import the shea seeds, and we does the rest of the process like extraction, cleaning, uh, extraction, refining, fractionation, all of this done in India. But now with the help of the 20 acres, we are setting up a manufacturing plant, and there itself the shea seeds are getting converted into butter. Now we get to import the butter, which will decrease the operational cost, like logistic cost, because whenever we import the seeds, right, the weight of the seeds would be reduced, because after the process, after the fractionation process, because we get the oil cake, that is like 20 to 30% of efficiency will be wasted when we bring here. Because if you bring some 100 kgs or 100 tons, right, now only 60 to 65 to 70% is the actual output. So now, because of this manufacturing facility, we are directly getting the shea butter. Now that increases efficiency, that decreases the logistics cost. Now talking about asset turnover, we have a picture on the screen. For the fractionation capacity of 40,000 TPA, we are getting a 5x turnover, asset turnover, fixed asset turnover. Now in the FY26, this will be increased, because we can see that there's much production, there's better operational efficiency in terms of production as well. And also, they want to infuse 460 CR capex in next 2 to 3 years. In terms of this picture, if you can see this picture, in terms of these, like they want to set up manufacturing facility for cocoa butter alternative and not equivalent. Alternative is again different. It's not it's not good as cocoa butter equivalent, because cocoa butter equivalent is directly a substitute, or it mimics the properties of cocoa butter. No, alternative is again different, and the umbrella goes wider for this. So they want to have 75,000 of TPA for that. So for that they want to infuse, or they want to set up a manufacturing plant in India. They want to also set up a new solvent fractionation manufacturing facility for sal, shea, palm, mango, kokum, and all other exotic seeds. It is also same actually. These both come under forward integration, and these both are common. The 75,000 capacity is common for both of these. Now talking about the third thing, they also want to set up the new refining capacity of 90,000. I guess the cumulative will go to 90,000. That might be the new 90,000 as well. And lastly, uh, as they have acquired 20 acres of land in Burkina, they wanted to set up a manufacturing facility, processing facility, which uses again 90,000 ton per annum. Now, all of this will be implemented in a phased manner in next 2 to 3 years, and if we get to see in the next 2 years or next 3 years itself, we can see the benefits reaping in the next quarter or quarter by quarter. We'll also discuss how is it going, or how is the capex is being done. In terms of working capital days, right? It used to be 150 days previously. Now it has been 97. It has come down to 97 days, and they're targeting to make this, or to make to reduce this to 75 days in the next 2 to 3 years again. Now this is a high working capital company, because they should have a lot of inventory whenever companies might demand, right? So they need to have large inventory to sell. So that will also always be the case, to have high working capital or high inventory. And for H1 2026, return on capital employed ROC is 50%, return on equity is 37%. It will go, or it will go in this space. Management has confirmed that this growth revenue is sustainable till next 4 to 5 years. Now we can see this high growth for next 4 to 5 years because of all of this uh, increase in production, increase in the production capacities, and with the better product mix. And also they are now entering into cocoa butter alternatives as well. And they also said that they will also be entering into manufacturing of compound chocolates as well. Debt equity ratio is also healthy at 0.57, which used to be 0.83 previously. And talking about the CAGR of revenue, EBITDA, PAT for 3 years, right? Revenue CAGR is 40%, EBITDA's CAGR is 70%, and PAT CAGR is also similar to EBITDA, 67%. Because of the formulation and processing technology, right, the quality and performance is controlled and is enriched. And also because the customer stickiness, like we have customers from Fortune 500 companies. And also entry barriers, there are lots of entry barriers in these companies or in these industries. So there could be some time, or we can see we will be tracking other companies as well, which can directly compete with Manorama Industries at this level.